All right, everybody. Wasn't planning on doing another video like I said earlier, but just wasn't tired, so I wasn't ready to go to bed. It's only about a little after 9 here where I'm at. I live in Georgia, so it's really not that late. I just stayed out here. I stayed at it. I was able to get both of the rear fenders cut, welded, and pretty much ready for fiberglass. I got both of the fronts cut. They're not going to need any fiberglass. As you can see, the back's on jack stands. I had to remove the rear tires when I was doing all the cutting, and so I'm just going to leave it on jack stands for tonight. So we got them panel bonded on. I'll show you here the product that we used. This is from 3M panel bonding adhesive, number 08115. You can get this on eBay. I think you can get it on Amazon. Just make sure wherever you order it from that you don't get some that's expired or close to expired. So you have to kind of check with the sellers and make sure that they're selling fresh stock of it. You will also need this gun from 3M. I recommend just buying a kit that comes with some panel bond. You can find a kit that comes with this gun and already has a tube of panel bond. But there's the part number for the gun, just in case you want to buy it separate. But you will need this gun because you got two different size adhesives, and the tip automatically mixes it. This stuff is super strong. Basically should never come off. We already used it on these side panels here, and I mean, these things are on there. There's no cracking, no nothing. They're solid, so I don't think we're going to have any problems out of this, and this is the recommended way to do it. But we got this in. I think tomorrow I'll probably get out here and work on doing the fiberglass on the inside of the rear. The front, I'll look at it and see if it needs anything. I don't think that it will, but it might. But again, you can't really see inside the front as much as you can the back. In the back, you have to do it because you've cut those slits, and so you've got to seal all that up. Otherwise, you're going to have water coming into your trunk and into your back seat, and you don't want that. But I wanted to film the process of me sticking these on, but it's pretty self-explanatory. You know, you want to drill all your holes and have your panel already set with no glue, and that way when you come back with the glue, you already got predetermined holes so that your panel's going to line up, and you just put that stuff on there just like caulk. Try to cover, you know, as much area as you can, and then stick it up there and start putting the bolts in there, tighten it down. Try not to over tighten these too much. Like this center one here is a little bit too tight, and it's causing a little bit of a bow in the fiberglass, but I can fix that when I do the body work, so I'm not too concerned about that one screw. But you don't want to get the screws super tight, but they need to be tight enough to hold the panel firmly to the car so that this stuff can cure. But I got it on there, and then I always come back around the edge. Even though I already had some squirting out, I come around the edge and just do a whole line around the edge, and then I just smoothed that out with my finger and made sure that it was down in the crack all the way around. All of the panels have been done the same way. Like I say, plenty of screws to hold it firmly and keep it in place to make sure it's not bowed. These panels will try to bow on you, especially when you get the glue on there. And so I had some extra holes, and I just put some X's next to the holes that I knew were going to have screws, so that I didn't get confused, because sometimes you do have to move these things around to line up like the bottom screws. So keep that in mind as well. It may seem like it's not going to fit, but it will. You just got to move it around. And I had already had this thing fit and measured, so I know that it needed to be there. Don't just drill new holes, because you're going to be off on your measurements, and you're going to have different gaps on your wheel. You know, the front and the back will be different, which it's different anyway from this side to this side, but from driver to passenger side, you want it to be about the same, as close as you can get it. It's easier on the back because the axle is pretty much set and you can measure. I don't recommend trying to measure from the back of the car to the edge of this panel, because I don't think these panels are identical and that could mess you up. I try to eyeball the tire and then check the measurements, and if they're within, you know, 1/8 of an inch or so, it's fine. But same thing on the other side. Everything is good. There's no back tire on here, so we can't really see the gapping, but I think it's like 1.25 inches on the back and a little over 1 inch in the front, if memory serves correct. But when you put it on there, you'll see. And like I say, this panel, when I put it on, I'm going off of the factory bottom here, so I know that this is the right angle. But again, we got all 4 of them on, and we are ready to just let this thing cure. The process now is to let these things cure as long as possible, but not forever, because obviously I want to get started on the body work. But I'm going to see how they dry out tonight, see how they are tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to do any fiberglassing on the outside, or any body fill, or any fiberglass with body fill. For the time being, I want this to dry as much as possible, so I'll probably just focus on the inner fender wells and maybe some body work and a few other places. But that's pretty much what we got going. I'm gonna let it dry, and then hopefully Sunday I can actually start doing some shaping on these things and blending them into the panel, making it look a little better. And then hopefully not too long down the road we can get this thing in some primer. But like I say, not exactly sure what I plan to do tomorrow, but I know I want to get the car outside in the sun if it doesn't rain, and just try to get sunlight on this thing so that this stuff can cure, hopefully heat up a little bit and move around. And if anything decides to crack, I can fix it now before major body work, and then we can get everything filled on Sunday. I'm not sure when I plan to actually paint the car, but I do plan to get it in prime pretty quick and start blocking on it and getting it ready. But I kind of want to give these panels plenty of time to do whatever they're going to do, so that we haven't painted the car and have to go back and fix anything. That would not be an ideal situation, but if it happens, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But I don't think I'm going to have any issue, but you never know. So that's where we're at. That's where we're going to end. What is this, part 3 or part 4? I'll have to check. But this is basically the final install video. There will be more videos of the wide body kit, but this is it for the install. It was easier than I expected in some ways and harder than I expected in other ways, but it really wasn't too bad. The main thing that kind of drove me crazy was just trying to get each side of the car, the driver and the passenger, as close to being the same as possible. If they did happen to be a little off, nobody's ever going to notice it. Nobody's going to come from the driver's side and say this is a 1/4 inch different to the passenger side. But I wanted it to be spot on, and I got it spot on in the front and the rear. So I think we're good. But this is where we're going to end this video. We will be doing another video Sunday, and we'll see where we're at. Maybe we'll have some fiberglass, and we'll have all these screws out, hopefully, if this stuff cures up. And maybe we'll have these inner wheel wells fiberglassed out. But we'll just have to see what I decide to do tomorrow. Like I say, I haven't made any permanent plans on what I'm going to do yet, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. I do still have to bleed the brakes. I need some transmission fluid because a lot leaked out. Car was having a hard time going in gear because there's not enough transmission fluid in it. So there's a few things that I can do to the car mechanically to get it back running and ready for the road. But I mainly want to get this body work started so we can get this thing looking good, and then we'll get it roadworthy and maybe start driving it even in prime. I might drive it around a little bit. But anyway, that's where we're going to end it. I hope this video helps anybody. Again, if you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. I'll be happy to try to help you with your build. But we'll leave it right here. Don't forget to subscribe. I hope you like the car. This thing is really looking mean in the front, and it's coming along really good. So everybody have a good night. I think I'm gonna go inside and get a shower and take it to bed.